Tech builders promised sentient machines, but behind every headline, something stranger happened. When ChatGPT hit 1 million users in 5 days, money poured in before real dollars ever arrived. Microsoft, Google, and Nvidia fueled the rush, but paper profits replaced real progress. If the future was this lucrative, why did so many choose illusion over truth? The answer begins where hype turns to gold, and then to dust. In late 2022, ChatGPT reached 1 million users in just 5 days. News feeds filled with screenshots and testimonials, people confessing, debating, and experimenting with prompts that felt like talking to a new kind of mind. The number was everywhere. No app, not even Instagram or TikTok, had spread so quickly. The surge was not just digital, it was cultural. Schools, offices, and dinner tables buzzed with the question, what could this thing do next? As the adoption curve shot upward, the world watched a single metric become a global signal. The future, it seemed, had arrived overnight. Microsoft committed $10 billion to OpenAI in early 2023, but most of that money was not cash. It was cloud credits, digital coupons to buy time on Microsoft's own servers. Google responded by merging DeepMind and Brain, pouring resources into a single AI powerhouse. Nvidia chips became the hottest commodity, driving a modern gold rush as startups scrambled to secure hardware. Cloud giants handed out billions more in credits, fueling a cycle where startups used these credits to train AI models, then recorded the value as revenue. On paper, the numbers soared. In reality, no cash had changed hands, just recycled promises. Far from the boardrooms, the real work of artificial intelligence played out in silence. In Kenya and the Philippines, thousands of content moderators earned $2 an hour, sifting through violence and hate so algorithms could appear clean. Their labor was invisible, hidden behind glossy investor decks and soaring revenue charts. Analysts reviewing company filings found that many artificial intelligence unicorns had never received a single dollar in cash, just digital credits recycled as income. By 2024, the illusion of unstoppable progress began to unravel from the inside. Engineers noticed that models retrained on their own synthetic outputs started to echo themselves, losing accuracy and originality. Usage metrics fell as users reported more hallucinations and repetitive answers. One engineer quoted in the Financial Times described the problem as echo chamber mode, where the system learned from its own mistakes, compounding them each cycle. Jan Leica, a former OpenAI lead, warned publicly that synthetic data contamination is a ticking time bomb. The promise of endless improvement faded as technical debt mounted and decay became impossible to ignore. In Oregon, data centers supporting AI drew more than 400 million gallons of water in a single year, enough to supply a small city. At public meetings, residents described rivers running low each summer, and city officials confirmed that 1/4 of the Dow's total water withdrawals now went to cooling servers. Across the Atlantic, Ireland's grid operator warned that AI compute clusters could soon consume over 30% of Dublin's electricity, pushing the system toward blackout risk. An EirGrid engineer testified that a single AI training rack could pull 5 megawatts at peak. For many, the cost of artificial intelligence became a matter of local survival. In 2025, regulators in the United States and Europe launched formal investigations into AI startup accounting and energy use. Auditors uncovered a web of circular transactions, cloud credits recorded as revenue, vendor deals that inflated sales figures, and synthetic income streams that never touched a bank account. Deloitte and KPMG documented how some of the biggest investments were nothing more than smoke and mirrors, propping up valuations with recycled digital coupons. As the truth surfaced, startup shutdowns surged and GPU demand collapsed. A betrayed investor stared at a worthless portfolio. An auditor summed it up. Numbers on paper, but no real money. The illusion had burst. A single worker in Nairobi described scrolling through endless streams of hate speech, violence, and grief. Each click a small act of erasure of someone else's peace of mind. At $2 an hour, the job is both lifeline and burden, the trauma lingering long after the shift ends. A former engineer in San Francisco remembers believing in the promise of intelligence, only to watch it slip into repetition and noise. For both, the cost is measured not in charts or credits, but in lost sleep, quiet doubts, and the feeling that something precious was traded away. The sunrise outside their window brings little comfort, only the question of what, if anything, was truly gained. Real reform means putting transparency at the center, clear accounting, open data on energy use, and enforceable caps on resource consumption. Labor rights must be protected, with fair wages and mental health safeguards for those who support AI's foundations. Progress demands accountability, not just ambition. Today, AI hype outpaces reality, but the cost, energy, trust, and truth remains. As the next wave of innovation begins, one question lingers. Will wisdom finally catch up to ambition?